Today with us, jongsma. Hi Kun.
Hello.
You are a photographer, and how long have you been as a photographer?
I've done it in my young days, and 5 years ago I restarted my photography.
And you work with photography, but do you make your living out of that, or do you have another activity?
I'm a lighting designer for theater.
Mm-hmm. So you know a lot about light, and that means you know how to make good pictures. When was the first time you took a camera to make a picture?
When I was 6 years old.
6 years old already? How come?
Because I got a camera of a friend of my parents.
Mm-hmm. Did you make pictures? Do you have those pictures?
Yeah, I still do have some.
Okay.
But they're not very special.
Well, of course, you were 7 years old. And what is your favorite subject for your pictures?
I like to walk around. I like to walk around with my camera in the back and encounter nice dramatic situations.
How can you make drama in pictures? With a light?
Yes, it's most of the time it's the light, or it's the way people are set up, or
about the way we are set up. What do you like from a photography?
The ability to capture moments.
What kind of moments?
Special moments because of beautiful lighting conditions, or when something happens between people.
And tell me, what is a necessary element to make a nice picture?
It's better to speak of a trial, and sometimes you find out afterwards that it has been a beautiful moment or a beautiful picture.
So it means you threw many pictures before you get one that you like?
Yeah, and maybe you learn to find the good moments after a while.
Okay, and tell me, are you the type of photographer that create a picture, or you just make spontaneous pictures?
No, I never create pictures.
You never do? Why not?
I'm too shy for that, I think.
Too shy for create pictures?
To ask people to do something for the camera.
And so all your pictures until now, they've been spontaneous pictures?
Yeah, most of them, yeah.
But you are also taking pictures sometime in parties and that kind of situation?
Yes, I do.
Also spontaneous?
Yeah. And if you lift up a camera, some people are willing to do something special because there's a camera.
You've been exposing. Where have you been exposing?
In Spain, in Briviesca, and now the exposition is going to other places in Spain, and in restaurant Tango.
And for the magazine Sur, that's the way we met.
Yes.
On top of that, are you planning to have some other exhibitions?
No.
No, why not? Is it, you are not planning to make photography the very first thing in your life?
No, I'm not. I'm doing it as a way of recreation.
Just a hobby?
No, yeah, maybe. No. It's more than that. It's kind of journalism.
And tell me about yourself. What do you consider beauty, or what a picture needs to be called a beautiful picture?
That's when some form of drama develops in a picture, when there's a lot to guess about, when you can create a story from one picture. I like that very much. And when lighting conditions are making something beautiful, and you can manipulate in the dark room with light and dark. And
so it needs drama, it needs to propose a history story behind, and when the light is well shown.
Yeah, and it's a matter of aesthetic conventions, I think.
And yourself, what do you consider beauty?
I like the contrast between light and dark, and especially when light situations become dark.
When a light situation becomes dark.
Yes.
Okay. And I see a lot of black and white in your pictures. What does it represent to you? The yin and yang?
No, maybe. Maybe some form of tension.
Tensions.
Uncovered things. Covered things are more interesting than clear things.
And yes. Is it any subject that is repeated in your pictures?
Yeah. Well, after a while, after doing it for a long time, I find some things coming back. Strangely enough, that's I have a very big preference for smoking people and for dark situations or on clear days.
And tell me, how about that photographer that was showing in the Staatstheater that makes so much polemics? Do you like those pictures? What do you think about?
I think they're good pictures, art pictures, and I didn't understand the fuss about it.
Do you like them because they were technically done, or because the history behind, because they suggest that was a kind of pedophile?
Yeah, but that's no pedophilia.
You saw the pictures?
Yeah, I saw the exhibition, and
but the father, apparently the father, was having an erection next to his child. Is that okay?
Yeah, if it's for the sake of art, why not? Or yeah, no.
What is art for you?
Telling something about the world we live in.
Just an eye from daily life, you mean?
Yes, maybe more than that. Maybe more than that.
What do you think about those shocking pictures that sometimes keep running in our mind very, very violently?
I think they are expressing the world we live in.
Is that art?
And that's art.
To express, to show the world we live in, just because it's art.
To keep minds aware of.
I think we can induce things. I mean, we can push things, and I think that's happening. I don't consider art myself, but why? I mean, why do you think it's art?
Because it can open your eye for the dangers of people living together and for the beauty of living together on this planet.
And okay, but it's a big difference in between art 100 or 1,000 years ago and today, or not?
Yes, there is, and because there's evolution and technical progress, and
do you think art has to do with technical evolution?
Not the meaning of it, but the way it's made. I think yes.
The way it's expressed, I mean the way it's done, you mean technically?
Yeah, and the means of showing something. There's 30 years ago there was no video art.
Okay, but all right. But going back to those shocking pictures, bizarre things, do you think they can be an art?
Yeah, I would not exclude it. It's impossible to say something is horrible or cruel, so it cannot be art.
So cruelty and bizarre thing for you, they can be art?
Yes, of course.
Okay. And what do you try to express through photography?
My deepest dreams. I like to show something about solitude.
So about solitude and about yourself, do you see yourself married with a lot of children in the future, or do you think you are a lonely wolf?
I see myself married, rich, and very happy with 10 children.
That's nice. And do you think that is going to be through photography or through your first profession?
I don't know. I hope it's separated from my profession.
But you're working hard for it.
I'm doing what I can.
Can you do more than what you're doing?
No.
So you're doing your best. Well, thank you very much, Koen, for your interview. I wish you good luck. And I think myself that you should check those ideas about art. Thank you. Again, we have with us another Latin American photographer. Let her introduce herself. Your name is?
Neydelantyer.
And you are a photographer. You are coming from Brazil. And tell me, how long have you been doing photography?
Well, since 1990, I think something like 10 years already.
So with a new millennium you make 10 years. And how do you think is been the biggest difference in between your work at the beginning and today?
Well, in the beginning, 10 years ago I was just learning, and I had no intention to be a professional, and I think you really grow in 10 years, you learn a lot, and also I'm here, and it's a different experience, and I think now I have a more mature work than before, of course.
I see. And in between Brazil and here, how have you been growing? What's the biggest difference you find?
I don't think it's between Brazil and here. Of course, here I have one different experience because it's a new culture, it's a new place, new photographers that I'm, new images, and I am convive with different people, and you start to get some kind of influence with this. But I think anyway, if you work in a different place, if you come from one absolutely opposite culture, you start to make something.
Tell me, is it any subject that it's repeated in your photography?
Yeah, I work with people in general, men, women, and in different situations.
And about your pictures, do you try to show something, to say something through your pictures, or is just this? What kind of photos do you make? Spontaneous, or do you create photography?
No, in general I create a photography. In general I have one idea, I have one project, and I bring people to make one specific work. And about your first question, I don't want to say anything with my pictures. I just want to make one good image, to make something that I told you once that I like to work with the soul, with the emotions, and I think that's the principle. If I show you something and if you feel something about this, it's because my work got the intention, got my intention. You understand?
Ide, tell me, what makes a picture nice?
I think it's necessary to have a good technique, and also necessary to get something from the people, something that comes from inside, and I think it makes a good picture of people, the kind of picture that I used to do.
Now, a big question. What or how could you define beauty?
Well, I think there is a lot about aesthetic, there is a lot about what you look and what you like, and there is a lot about the heart and the soul and the emotions and the mind. I mean, you should see something that comes from inside, and I don't think about happiness or sadness, but I think about something true, that's real.
Mm-hmm. Do you consider photography art, and why? Yes or not?
Yeah, I think photography is art. I think when photography started almost 20 centuries ago, a lot of critics said, no, this is no art because it's so simple to press one bar and to have one image, but it's art because it's about one point of view, it's about one creation of one artist that came from one idea, one aesthetic idea, one project of beauty and this kind of stuff. I think it's art, not all of them, of course. Most of them are just documentary, but I think some are.
Okay. And do you think photography and the picture we see are influenced by the outside world, or do you think we can influence the actual outside world by pictures?
Well, I think photography and the image in general can influence. If you have one picture about something very strong, like the photojournalist pictures and the documentary pictures, I think it can influence the mind of people. It can, if you see one image, think about 200 years ago, you had no images. So then the news, they came from you only right, And I think it's absolutely different. I think when you see something, it gets strong. But it's not the kind of picture that I do. I don't. In general, I don't make photojournalism. I used to make portrait photography.
Are you having exhibition these days?
Well, yes, I am participating of one collective exhibition in Tango restaurants with 6 Latin American photographers.
Do you have any favorite photographer that you could remember right now?
Yeah, I like several of them, but I can tell now about Sebastião Salgado, Brazilian photographer. Also about Cartier-Bresson, that's the first one. I think Sebastião Salgado learned a lot with him. And I could say a lot of names because I think there are some great photographers.
From Holland, do you have any in mind?
Yeah, I like very much Heineke Dijkstra. I like Jan Sodek as well.
Why?
Well, they are different. Jan Sodek, he likes the bizarre images, and but I think they are very beautiful. And Heineke Dijkstra, she works with portrait photography as well. And,
so, do you think you can find beauty in bizarre?
Well, I'm not crazy for bizarre images and for bizarre lifestyle, but I like Jan Sodek because I think he has a nice composition. There is something sweet in his images, not only bizarre, and I like the colors he uses.
Is he very known in Holland?
Yeah.
So somehow, is it not that you want to be paying playtesy? I mean, calling his name because he's big?
No. It's because I think there is something there that I like.
Okay. Tell me, you come from Brazil. What kind of education did you have? Does your family believe in God, for instance?
Well, I come from one Catholic family, as most of the families in Brazil. But I don't think I had one religious education. No, I
So there is no influence of that religion in your work?
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I don't.
Are you still Catholic, or do you feel yourself a believer?
No, I don't think I am Catholic, but I know, and I think that all of us that came from the Occident, we have strong influences of the Catholic and the Christian religion in general.
Well, I think Catholic is the religion. Christian, it's in general, because there is many. And so you believe in a soul, and do you believe in eternity of your soul?
I'm not religious, and when I talk about soul, I talk about something that you have inside. It's not something immortal. I think we actually die, and this is very bad. But I think I don't think we are eternal.
I used to say and make this question. I think every new year is very intense, especially this one, because it's not a new year but a new millennium. Do you think that has been affecting you somehow, your work or your way of feeling in any way?
I don't know. I think it's very important, the millennium, but I don't know. Probably everybody is very influenced by this. Probably me as well. But I don't think about. I don't know.
Are you going to be in Holland for that time, or where are you going to be?
Yeah, I'm going to be here in Holland.
Don't you miss your family?
Yeah, I miss. I go to Brazil in January.
Just after the millennium?
Yeah, after the millennium.
And where do you come from in Brazil?
I come from Salvador. It's the oldest city in Brazil, is one of the most special places there, and it's a black city. Most of the people is black, and we have a very special culture, different from other parts in Brazil.
Well, I think I've been asking you a lot of things. My last question. What do you think about the globalization of the information? Do you think it's positive for the third world countries?
Yeah, I think it's positive. I think now everything is so close. Every place is so close to each other. You have the information immediately. You immediately you doesn't know what happened here, there, or somewhere else. And I think it's good. I think it's not mysterious probably anymore. I think everything is very fast. And I am a little bit romantic. I think the mystery is nice also. But I think now it's a positive time for everybody. I think so.
Well, dear, thank you very much for being with us, and we will have a look to your pictures.